Hello everyone, this is Brett Fencer Farms Ministry, and today we're going to be talking about how we transplant and how we direct seed and why I space out the beds the way that I do. And this is a part 2 from my last video, and there's going to be multiple videos of these, and this is all talking about food shortages and different things happening. And when we just saw with the COVID, how we saw a meat shortage and how we saw panic and fear and how people went out and started buying up everything, and things in the future that can happen and that we can see, and things that are already in the works, like like the collapse of the dollar. What happens if when this vaccine comes out, if you don't want to take it and you can't go into a grocery store anywhere without some card saying that you had that vaccine? Or what happens if the grocery stores are empty because everyone's buying everything up? And what happens if something happens with the supply chain? So many things. And so I wanted to make these videos for people that wanted to start a farm, already had a farm, or wanted to feed their family, just something in their backyard. And I wanted to do this too so we could serve our church and be able to, supply them with food in our communities while also getting out the gospel message. And one other thing, I highly recommend to start buying seeds. If the dollar did collapse or different things, seeds could be the new dollar almost, or whatever it is, for trading and all that, but also just for food. And I saw with the COVID thing, there was a little spurt where it was hard to get seeds for a sec, where they were, holding people off. Right now you can get seeds, so buy them up, get them online, Home Depot, garden supplies, things like that. Seeds will last you quite a while. They'll last a few years, but if you put them in the freezer and things like that, you can get a long time out of them. So I definitely recommend looking in to start doing that. So let's get started. Okay, so you basically got two ways to transplant. In the beginning, when we didn't have enough money to buy all the tools and everything that we needed, we just did hand transplanting. And then eventually we were able to get the paper pot transplanter, which I'll show you in a sec. So depending on your situation and everything, it's totally fine. You can plant by hand, or obviously if you're in an even smaller setting like a backyard or something like that, you just do it by hand. But what saves you a lot of time and your back is the paper pot transplanter, which I'll show you here in a sec. But let me show you the reason why we do 30-inch wide beds. We do 30-inch wide and then 50-foot long or 100-foot long, and that usually works out good for all the different things and planting and stuff. That's good standard. But you definitely want that 30 inches wide, and this is exactly why. Here, I'll show you guys, I can fit my legs over the bed. It's not, and you're gonna need this because if you're transplanting by hand, or if you're in here harvesting, you're gonna want to have this width, because it's not too much, but it's still a nice amount of space. Otherwise, you don't want to be spread out even further than this, I don't think. So that's why I just wanted to go over that real quick, and then now I'll show you guys how we do use the paper pot transplanter. So this is the paper pot transplanter, and I have another video on this so you can go check out. But basically, this underneath there will cut a trench, and then you'll have this chain here at the end with like a screwdriver or something held in. As it cuts that trench, it'll you just keep pulling, and then this will bury the wheels, and everything back here will bury everything back up. And so I'll show you guys how it works in action here in a sec. But if you're gonna go this route, you got to buy the chains like this, and this tray and everything, and you'll plant in these, and it's a great way to go. It's a big time saver, and it'll save your back from having to bend over all the time. But we planted by hand for a long time, and we actually still do on certain items plant by hand. But I'd highly recommend getting this at whatever point you can. This is a great tool. So let's talk about direct seeding now. If you're just growing food for your family, and you have some raised beds and things like that in your backyard, you know, obviously you can just do it all by hand. And you can even, if you had to, I highly recommend getting a Cedar though, and I'll show you here in a sec, but if you had to, on a bigger scale, and you're just, you know, in that situation, you just can't, you know, financially wise or whatever it is, you can't get a Cedar and all that, you can still, you know, you can still use like the back of a hula hoe or something like that, and you can walk down that bed and cut a trench into it. You know, you don't have to go very deep, and then just go and sprinkle your seeds and then come back and just cover it up. You can do it that way. What's fast and the most efficient and effective way is to do it by a Cedar, which I'll show you right here. So this is the Jane Cedar. I highly would recommend getting this one. It's awesome. I've had cheaper cedars, and sometimes they'll grind up the seeds and things like that. This thing doesn't do any of that. So basically how this works is you're going to push this down your bed, and I'll show you it here in action in just a sec. You're going to push it down your bed. This is going to cut your trench. Right in here, the seeds are on a roller, and there's a little brush inside, and it'll roll around, drop your seed down right behind it. So that cuts your trench, seeds drop. This right here is going to cover it up, and then this wheel is going to come back right over it. And really awesome tool. And what else is super great about this is, let me take this thing off real quick and I'll show you. What else is awesome about this is, you know, would be like your hopper, and you would put your seeds in here. But this thing comes apart really easy. You take this piece off here, open that up, then you have a pin right here. You pull this off, and then this will come out. These are your wheels, and depending on what you're planting, you know, arugula, all different types of seed, you use different wheels, and they have different spacings on there and different sizes of holes. And then there's a little brush in there, and basically this thing, the seeds will drop in these holes, and this thing as you go will spin, and a brush will brush across, and then they'll just drop. And so there's all different ones, and so with this machine you can really get accurate on your spacing and, you know, everything in that aspect. You can get really accurate on this, and it's just a great machine, great little Cedar. And you know, you shouldn't have any issues compared to other Cedars. I know it's a little more, but it's well worth it in the end. But if you can't get to that point, that's fine. Use another Cedar. It's not a big deal. You know, I'm just talking further on down the road, this is going to get you the job done really good. Let's see it in action. Well, we're reaching the end of this video, and I just want us to remember that God is in control, and that we have to trust in Him and keep doing His work. Like I've said, it's gonna get worse before it gets better. We know that. And so moving forward, we can't be silent. We have to start standing up. They're trying to shut down churches. They're trying to arrest pastors. They're trying to fine them. They're trying to cut off their water and their power to their churches. So if your church is staying open, stand with them. And we have to stop being silent. Start using our voice and keep on keeping on and doing God's work. I thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. Go check out our Facebook and Instagram at Fencer Farms Ministry, and God bless.